We have some updates for you coming out on the stimulus reconciliation and checks. And this is your Build Back Better and stimulus check update. Now you guys, first up take a look at this. $1,657 is going to be going out, and that went out yesterday, and there are more going out. And I'm going to give you all the details for Social Security. President Joe Biden held press conferences, and he lets us know that he's not sure if he's going to be able to renew the monthly checks to parents in the Build Back Better bill, and that is the child tax credit. We also have the response today from the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, on the Build Back Better. She says they might need to be more limited and need to be renamed the bill as well. Let's go ahead and take a look. A person asked, more follow-up on the Build Back Better when you said it's going to likely be broken out into chunks. You mentioned that the climate pieces seem to have the board support. You mentioned Senator Manchin as supporter as only child care. You left out the child tax credit, and I wonder if it's fair to read between the lines and assume there's a piece given Senator Manchin's opposition to it. That extension of that is likely one of those components that may have to wait until there's, Joe Biden said, really big components that I feel strongly about that. I'm not sure I can get this package. One is child care tax credit, and the other is helpful cost of the community colleges. There are massive things that I will run on I care a great deal about, and I'm going to keep coming back at the whatever for I get to be able to try to get the checks or all of that done. On your comment that you made that you are confident major chunks of bill that can pass, are you breaking it up? He said, yes, it's clear to me that we are going to have to probably break it up. I think that we can get, and I have been talking to a number of my colleagues on the Hill. I think it is clear that we could be able to get support for the fourth of the $500+ billion for energy in the environmental issues that are there on number one. And number two, I know that two people who were posed on Democratic side of list support a number of things that are in there. For example, Joe Manchin strongly supports early education. 3 or 4 years of age strongly support for, I think, a number of ways in the week to pay those this paid for this proposal. I'm not gonna negotiate against myself as to what shouldn't be indeed. But I think we can break the package up, get as much as we can now, and come back and fight for rest later. A person asked, the PPP the president indicated yesterday, Trump significant get asked, I'm sure you heard what he said. I wonder what you think of the statement and the couple parts here. He said the child tax rate for community colleges may drop out into. So what should we expect when it comes to the PPP going forward? Nancy Pelosi said, well, let me just say, Chuck is interesting word. The president has such commitment as those values that are contained in this legislation reconciliation bill when they are considering, and then later we passed a bipartisan infrastructure bill. The president said, I want to find as much common ground in bipartisan way when it comes to infrastructure, but I cannot limit my vision for America to what Republicans will agree to in terms of roads and bridges. That's important, but it's not all. So in this legislation, if we care about preserving the planet for future generations and clear air for them to breathe today and water to drink, we need to pass the reconciliation bill. So I go to have that. That will be major part. So what the president called Turks, I go to have could be the major bills going forward. It may be more limited, but it is still significant. So we talked about the climate. So now let's talk about the healthcare. So important in the legislation is that million more people will have access to healthcare at very low cost because of what is in the bill in terms of expanding the affordable care. Let's talk about the child care and bill. Whether you're talking about child credit, or you're talking about the child care, or you're talking about home health care, that might include a child or older sibling or parent, or you are talking about universal pre-K. All of this lower the cost for care and is transformative in lives, especially of women in the workforce. So we have to have, if our economy is going to be success, we say when the woman success, American success, if we are going to have the full benefits of women and newcomers. And when I say new homeless people of color who have not been in the some of these traditional jobs, to expand what that means, we have to have care at home, whether it's for children or again older sibling or parents. So there are big chunks of this bill that have to be contained in the bill. But remember that this is a reconciliation bill. So when people say let's divide it up, then that they don't understand the process. What can we agree upon? So I'm sure that we can agree upon something significant. Call it the truck if you want. But whatever you call it, you want it to be able to make a difference in the transforming the workplace by the ordering work, by the respecting in fact that there are families that we have to make a decision between the home and work, and again protecting the planet. That was Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi just a couple hours ago earlier today, and it looks like the Build Back Better bills. So stimulus reconciliation is going to be significantly modified. We might even see it renamed here in the near future going forward. Let's jump into the Social Security, $1,657 that started going out yesterday. This check started going out excess. This will be the first check with the 5.9% the color, increasing it for 2022. The increase began at the start of 2022, thanks for color first. That was put into effect the high rate of inflation in 2021, and this is the 40 years high we are hearing inflation haven't been this high in quite some time. This raises the average Social Security recipient payment by around $92. Now, the last payment for anyone with a birthday after the 20th will be the Wednesday of January 26th is when you can expect to see that payment. The first check in February. They are going to start going out February 9th. Now, the average increase for a married couple collecting benefits is going to be $154 per month. Employees who are disabled, they will be payment to rise from the $1,252 to $1,358, and anyone collecting payment from the Social Security program, they should have already received a letter from the SSA detailing their changes. The 5.9% increase is the highest rise in color in almost 40 years, which is rising to match inflation. Now, in 2021, the increase was just 1.3%. The closest the color increase has come to 2022, was back in the 2009, where it was 5.8% inflation issue, impacting the color increase for Social Security recipients. Many recipients fear that the rate of inflation, though, will cause the increased receipt to make no difference in their financial situation because inflation is just so high, while the color increases 5.9%. The inflation rate from December 2020 to December of 2021 was 7%. On the top of the Medicare cost are only continue to create increase as well when the rising cost of Medicare Part B was originally announced. It was claimed that the color increase could help to cover it.